X-Men stay on top of the list, and what new number ones are coming out for next week? Stay tuned for the most anticipated. Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, I'm your host, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you my top 10 most anticipated comics of the week, and this is for November 27th, 2019, and hopefully, fans, this series helps you make a decision on what comic books to buy, and it's never too early to start putting together that pull list for next week. So at any time, if you like this video, fans, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss any content from me. And fans, Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Are you guys excited for Thanksgiving? Do you care less about Thanksgiving? Do you just do like Black Friday shopping and see what kind of comic book sales there are out there? Let me know in those comments below. I'm anxiously awaiting to hear those comments. You know, I feel like when it comes to Thanksgiving, it gets lost in the shuffle between Halloween and Christmas, you know? So don't forget about Thanksgiving. You got good food, good side dishes. Spend time with your family, guys. All right, so now back into this countdown. So we're going to go into the book that is the hot seat. That's right. This is the book where I'm never too sure if I'm actually going to pick it up. Sometimes I have to make that decision when I'm at that comic book store. If I have too many comics or did I really like this book? But the book that's on the hot seat this week goes to New Mutants issue 2. Now, I hate to drop these X-Men books as they seem to intertwine quite nicely with each other. But I really did not like New Mutants issue 1. I don't like how it takes place in space. I didn't like the entire team. I really only liked Illyana moments in the particular book. I'm not a fan of that particular artwork. So it's like, why should I pick up this book, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, again, this X-Men universe is all intertwining really nicely. And I have a feeling that this is going to connect to some of the other books, kind of like how Fallen Angels connects to X-Force, and they all connect in one way, form, or fashion. And that's what's really good about these X books right now, whereas before, they did not connect. You know, it was just like X-Men Blue was there. X-Men Gold was there. But you never felt like a mutant population was together and existed on Earth. Okay? So, yeah. Alright, so let's officially count down. Let's start this countdown with number 10 this week. And this one is Fantastic Four Negative Zone issue 1. So, this book is a 40-page comic book. This is $4.99. I'm always, I always give Fantastic Four stories at least a try, and I wanted to see what this one is about. But it's an experiment that Reed Richards has begun many years ago, and it's kind of come back, and he wants to venture into the hospital expanse in order to put things right. So, I don't know. It might be interesting. It might be boring. I couldn't tell you for sure, but at the end of the story, it has the Fantastics. If you remember them, they were like in issue 2 or 3 or something like that. And I want to see what their involvement is in this. So, 40 pages, $4.99. If you're a fan of Fantastic Four and you're looking for a different story, this might be one for you. Alright, moving on to number 9. This kind of kicks off the whole 2099 stories here. And this one goes to The Punisher. 2099. This is issue 1. Okay, so we have the future has arrived, but world peace certainly hasn't. In fact, with the streets of Nueva New York more crime-ridden than ever, who will rise up to defend the vulnerable population from the corruption? Looks like it's up to the Punisher 2099 to clean up the block. The only question is, who is behind the mask? So, I guess it's not Castle, right? Because isn't Castle Cosmic Ghost Rider at that time? Maybe? 2099? I don't know. Who knows? But 40 pages, $4.99. I think this could be a lot of fun, especially if you're a fan of Elseworld stories and you like the 2099 universe. And again, I think if these books sell quite well, you could see a possible 2099 ongoing universe. That's my opinion on that. Not sure what you guys think about it, but I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know, comic fans. All right, moving on to number 8. Another new number 1 comic from Marvel Comics. And this is Scream Issue 1, Curse of Carnage. So this comes straight from the pages of Absolute Carnage. If you read the Scream miniseries, you know that we have a new Scream, okay? It went from Patricia Robinson, and now it's Andy Benton is the new Scream, okay? You got to see how it got taken over. She now has the power of Hellstrom as well, so it makes her kind of a powerful symbiote. Now, I'm curious to see what Marvel's intentions are with Scream going forward. This is a character that has been in the background for a very long time until she made her appearance right here in Absolute Carnage. So I'm curious to see what they'll do with her. Again, $4.99, 40 pages. We'll see what happens. So, falling in the number 7 spot. Wow, we have a book that's actually at a number 5. This is Valkyrie Issue 5, or Jane Foster Valkyrie Issue 5. Love the cover here, as you get to see Jane Foster front and center, and then you get to see like all the characters' faces in the background. Reminds me of like books from the 70s and early 80s. So really cool stuff. It's Into the Internal Darkness, as the book is titled, and Valkyrie's enemy is finally reveals themselves to teach the Guardian of the Fallen an important lesson. Not every life can be saved. It's the explosive end of the first arc as Valkyrie faces the death that's been stalking her since issue 1. So this story arc has been going on. We did get to see the person that hired Bullseye to take out Jane Foster, and that was Grim Reaper, and also Mephisto was behind all that as well. So last book had a lot of action in it as well. Curious to see how this story arc concludes. I love how Jane Foster has to balance her real life and her Valkyrie life at the same time. I mean, she's got her winged horse inside the freaking apartment. That is hilarious. So it has a nice mix of action, down-to-earth story, and I'm looking forward to it. So this made number 7. So what moves on to number 6? Well, another X book this week, and that goes to Fallen Angels issue 2. Now, Fallen Angels is not my favorite book out of these X books, but it's not bad either. It has a lot of mystery behind it, and we have to learn more about the background of Psylocke, this version of Psylocke. Her name is Juanin, I think it is, and I guess she has a daughter, and there's this black market drugs and whatnot. So there's a lot here that still has to be uncovered. And her teammates in this book looks like it's Young Cable, and it looks like Laura X-23 on here. This book is only 32 pages, $3.99. The only thing that I really didn't like about this book is that it was very dark. And I get that we have a tone to a book, but sometimes it got in the way of the artwork and I couldn't see everything that was going on. Maybe that was on purpose. However, just not my cup of tea there. So we'll see what happens going forward with this book. It falls around middle ground. All right, moving on to number 5, and this is Ghost Spider issue 4. I'm a fan of this book. I really enjoy it. I love the dialogue in this book. I love that Gwen Stacy from Earth 65 is going back and forth between 616 and 65, you know, leading kind of like this double life in a way. And she goes to college in 616, and she's friends with Peter Parker of this universe and whatnot. And we have this mysterious character that's been following her. She's like from Australia and whatnot. And it's cool. I like it. And she's doing work with the Jackal. And the Jackal is following around Gwen Stacy, which we all know the Jackal is so infatuated with her. So I really like this book. I think it's a lot of fun. I'm not sure what the long-term story is here. But again, I love all the character interactions, whether it's with Gwen dealing with her father, whether it's dealing with her friends, and whether it's dealing with Peter Parker. It's just a good book, and the artwork is solid as well. If you guys haven't checked out Ghost Spider, I definitely recommend it. All right, so moving on to number 4. This is an independent book. This one is from Image, and this is Killa Delphia, issue 1. On the cover it's got some guy with a gun and he has a shovel. And I'm like, what is this book about? And then I actually read this description. So I'm going to read it to you so you guys understand this, but it's like a vampire book. So if you're not a vampire fan, I don't know if you're going to be a fan. It's 32 pages, $3.99. But when a small town beat cop comes home to bury his murdered father, the Revered Philadelphia Detective James Sanger Sr., he begins to unravel a mystery that leads him down a path of horrors that will shake his belief to the core. The city that was once the symbol of liberty and freedom has fallen prey to corruption, poverty, unemployment, brutality, and vampires. Welcome to Killa Delphia. How'd the vampires get there? Why are they there? I want to know. This sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Again, you guys know my channel. You know me, if you've watched my channel for a long time. Huge horror fan, huge apocalyptic fan, zombie, vampires, shit like that. I like it. It's cool. I'm going to check it out. Will you? All right, moving on to number 3. This is the Dark Multiverse line. This time it tackles Infinite Crisis. So if you guys read Infinite Crisis, this is probably one that you're going to want to pick up. Okay? This was a huge event. Again, this book is expensive. It's 48 pages, but it's $5. It's 48 pages, so you get a lot of pages, but it is $5.99. Most recently, we just had the Blackest Night one, which was really good. We've had the Superman, the Death of Superman one, which was really good. So these stories have been solid. I just wish these books were kind of under the Black Label line, so you could make it a little darker, more grittier. You know, but I get it. They kind of want everyone to kind of read these, I guess. Who knows? But this one is number 3. Let's move on to number 2. And my number 2 book this week goes to Venom issue 20. I think this is the last Absolute Carnage tie-in that we have here. And yes, it does say that too. It's the final tie-in to Absolute Carnage. But you gotta expect what happens in this book. I'm sure you're going to get the end of Absolute Carnage, and then you're going to get ramifications that happen in this Venom issue. My key thing is Dylan. What happens to Dylan? What is his true power? Like, I kind of said he was like an anti-Venom. Like, the symbiotes touch him and they disintegrate, right? So that's how I feel that he is. But what is his true power? And does he take place? Does he take his father's place, right? Does Eddie Brock die? Like, what happens? And we're right around the corner. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to this tie-in. And then we're going to move on from Venom there. Well, he can't die, right? Because now that I think about it, we get this, right? Doesn't he go on the island? So, yeah. So maybe Eddie doesn't die. Maybe he gets banished. I don't know. We'll see what happens, though, guys. Check out Venom issue 20 if you want to see the conclusion to Absolute Carnage. Alright, and last but not least, guys, my number 1 most anticipated comic book of the week goes to XForce issue 2. Now, if you've read issue 1, spoilers, or if you didn't read it, I'm going to spoil it anyway because it's been out for a while. Professor X dies at the end of this issue. There was this big assassination attempt, and Professor Xavier dies. And now we have to see the ramifications of that. Like, how are they going to try to resurrect Professor Xavier? Was that the only Cerebro? Is he the only one that can truly resurrect the mutants? Because remember, all their intellect comes from that Cerebro. So you can bring back all the mutants, but they wouldn't have a mind, right? So he's a key integral part. So you would think that they would have a backup plan, like Jean Grey, right? Because she's another telekinetic. And so, I don't know. We're going to see how our mutants deal with this death, how they move on with Krakoa. It really didn't explain too much in X-Force issue 2. So, we'll see where that goes. But for me, this X-Force title was the best one yet. I thought it was the darkest, the grittiest, the artwork was the best, and I thought that the characters were the best in this one too. I just thought their personalities just were there. Like Logan was there. Beast was there, you know? So I cannot wait to see what happens with this book. So that is my number one most anticipated comic of the week. Now in the comments below, guys, I want to hear what are your most anticipated comics are. Whether it's a number 10, number 5, 3, or 1, I want to hear it. And guys, thank you so much for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. It's greatly appreciated. You guys are awesome for watching this series each and every week. And stay tuned on Wednesday for my 400th comic book haul. I've been doing comic book hauls for years, and I finally hit that 400th mark. So hopefully you'll tune into that. And fans, hit the bell, subscribe. Don't forget to like. I think I hit that one. There you go. Like that video. And thanks for watching, guys. And this is the Spider Slayer signing off. And I'll see you real soon. Take care, guys. Bye.